Oh my goodness. All right. Let's see what we got here. We got a couple people popping in. See how this all pans out. Hey, James. I appreciate it, man. We'll let these rooms fill up. Got a couple. Hey, E. Cusher. Ranker. Hello. I've got TikTok here, and I've got YouTube here. And I'll do my best to pay attention to both of them. Hey, what's up, NorCal? What we got here? All right, so we got some more that are going to be coming in here into TikTok here. Sure. Did I miss the message? You did not. I literally just turned this thing on, waiting for the rooms to fill up. There's Catitude, and on the YouTube side, YouTube's doing good tonight. I like it. Philadelphia, good go. If I have to go get my glasses later, which means that we've gone longer than I planned to go, but that's a-okay. Yeah, TikTok is definitely throttling me. I've got 244.5 thousand people, and there's now 20 people in the room. Gotta love it, but that's okay because we're going to do this. Let's see here. So, first things first, guys. So I found out how to actually contact TikTok, and hey, I'm seeing all these highs. I appreciate it. I'm going to pay attention to the chat as much as I can. Hello there, Julie. Love you, girl. All right, so I figured out, it took me about an hour and a half to figure out how to actually send a message to TikTok, like to have a conversation with him, okay? Hello, Raven. And after figuring that out, and don't worry, guys, these are cigars. I don't inhale. Probably should, though. I do like to enjoy one from time to time. Let's see here. No, we have less than 10 days left, but that's another story. So here's the thing. I finally figured out how to have a conversation with people in TikTok. Very, very difficult process, but I wanted to tell you guys up front because I know the room immediately feels full of trolls, but I want you trolls to listen to this carefully because we've got a plan for you. And you might want to pay attention because it's not going to end well. All right, so first, this is exactly what I wrote to him. First things first, I love TikTok and I plan to use it as long as it's around. It's a really good social media platform that offers a lot of opportunity to everyone. What I want to do is make TikTok better in a positive way. Last week, I was banned from live streaming. The ban came from a viewer reporting alleged illegal activities. This isn't a simple bullying report. This is an actual legal issue that must be addressed. Libel is a real thing on social media, and I would like to see TikTok get ahead of it. I'd be very surprised what they had to say. This one, on July 16, 2022, I was reported for illegal activity. I realize this is an anonymous report on mine and the reporter's side, and that you have to understand the algorithm. But I know that this is not anonymous to TikTok, so they know who you are. I expect a full investigation of this issue, and I expect that you will discipline the individual that you allowed to conduct libel, because now they're legally responsible. If you review the video, you will know that this did not take place. 2, I fully expect to be trolled during my next live stream. I will have a script that I'm reading off of. Yeah, here it is. Let's see, I will not go off script. If I'm shut down by somebody, I expect you to immediately resolve this. You'd be surprised what they had to say. It was so awesome. 3, it is my intention to begin a campaign to resolve trolling issues, and I want you to be part of the solution. I believe that I have an idea that will help to slow this growing trend. I will make a YouTube video explaining it shortly and get you a link as soon as it's completed, because now I have this two-way communication between myself and TikTok. I truly wish that we didn't have this issue, but we have allowed people too much power, and they are now shutting down honest TikTokers with the push of a button with no ramifications for their actions. Thanks for your time, and I hope to move forward with you very soon. Respectfully, Local Prepper. Yeah, we'll just say that there is now a process that when I go online, I have a TikTok handler. And this person will be reviewing all of my live videos, every single one of them. And they're going to start keeping track of people. It's going to be pretty interesting. So far, they've said, yeah, I think it's going to be an indefinite suspension. pending review for anybody who shows a track record or has been proven to create a libelous situation. So with that said, let's take a look. We've got 10 in YouTube. We've got 277. Let's see here. Gatekeep blocked him. Yeah, I mean, I would love to do that, but I just, when you have this many subscribers, it's extremely difficult to do these things. Also, guys, I kind of apologize. It is steamy here. It is really, really bad. So, to all those people that were saying hi to me, I greatly appreciate it. And so, let's move on. I got me a pretty good set of talking points tonight. Stuff that we can really go over. What I'll do is I'll kind of read a paragraph or so, and then we can actually talk about it. Let's see. Who controls the food supply controls the people. It was a quote by Henry Kissinger. Something nasty is brewing. Hey, what's going on, Bully? Something nasty is brewing. We can see it. We can feel it. Grocers around the country have a hard time keeping their shelves stacked and stocked. We're waiting longer for supplies when we order online, and there are worldwide protests raging over food. Now, the mainstream media doesn't want you to see all that, but it's really actually happening. If you've been on YouTube for half a second, you can quite easily find these things. The global food security crisis is upon us. It's knocking at our doorstep. There isn't one factor contributing to food security crisis. This is a culmination of globalism, bad policies, unrealistic regulations, power grabs by millionaires and billionaires. I'm sorry, it should have just been billionaires. And governments, and of course the war in Ukraine. We always have to add that. That's like the period on the sentence whenever they talk about any food crisis. It's purple people eaters and the war in Ukraine. So, let's see here. Let's take a look at the comments real quick. I'm going to hit YouTube real quick and see if they've dropped anything. If not, YouTube dropped something real quick. Project Zypher is coming. Lights out within the purge. E-Crush, sorry, bro. Not feeling that one right now. Let's see what we got on the other side here. They're now dumping frozen foods from Walmart and Sam's. Very true. Are there trolls here now? Most definitely, but that's okay. So here's the thing, guys. I literally just came from Walmart, 45 minutes ago, tops. And I immediately noticed all of the chips, no more. Chip aisle, completely empty. Now, maybe we can chalk that up to it being a Sunday, and Friday and Saturday was nothing but people sitting in front of TVs because it was the hottest day in the year here on the Eastern Shores. Could have been a lot of different things, but the reality is that chips are still made with either corn or flour. Yeah, those are probably things that we need to think about, and also cooking oil. So we probably need to think about that too. Let's see. I'm prepared as good as I can. Hey, dude, that's all you can do. Hey, Denny, I appreciate you too. And the YouTube chat just refuses to stay up. All right, let's see what we got here. And on the YouTube side, do me a favor. If you can give me that thumbs up, that forces the algorithm to do things. On the TikTok side, I see we already have 3 grand in likes. If you could just hold and hover or click or get yourself a little carpal tunnel and we get this thing cranked up to anywhere from 7,000 to 10,000. I mean, I know I'm asking a lot, but there are almost 150 of you in here now, and it should not be a problem. I was in Walmart, and it was the same. Shop at Sam's, where today, short thing was water and protein bars and Eddie Bauer teas. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. It looks like we're just getting a lot of followers, which is great. And also, guys, when we get done here, hey, listen, go to my backup channel. It's Local Prepper 2.0. I really need to get that up to 1,000. That way, if for some reason we do get trolled, we can just jump back to that, and then you guys will know where to find me. It's either that or we get a mailing list. I mean, and that's a possibility too, but we'll see what happens. Good evening, Michael. Anyone hear about the FAA turning off cameras? And we have our warships in our harbors. I'm not exactly sure about the warships. There were some cameras that did get turned off, but they weren't all there. That's right up there. There's a guy out there on TikTok that is, he's basically saying every FAA flight was canceled. Well, FAA doesn't have their own flights. But anyway, if you go to a website called FlightAware, it will show you exactly where every transponder-ping aircraft on the planet is. Okay, so let's go ahead and stay on script here. The WEF's climate agenda. The WEF stands for World Economic Forum. Recently released a paper written by Colorado State University economics professor Edward B. Barber stating climate change is the biggest threat to democracy. The three main highlights are climate change and the decline of democracy, are two global crises that have come to a head in the recent years. Number two was transitioning to green energy. Energy is key to both tackling climate change and creating sustainable economies. And number three was collective action on a green energy transition is thereby not good for the climate, but also vital for protecting democracy. Oh, a lot of words mumbled together that actually don't make any sense in the real world. Diesel gas run, truckers shutting down, no more till quarter of 2023. Well, that's pretty crazy, Crush. And somebody from Pennsylvania said something here. What do we got? Pennsylvania stores pretty well stocked currently, as well as the farmer markets. That's good to hear, man. You always notice stuff and don't tell me. You always notice stuff and don't tell me. Why don't you tell me the chips were low? I've got guys. Well, now you know. You've been told. And look here, we're doing okay on the. Hey guys, thanks for 11,000 on the TikTok side and on the YouTube side. Get your down to the button. Get that. Make that thing do stuff. Let's see. Heavy cream and missing. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of dairy shortages. But I mean that's a trickle. That I think that's local. Let's see here. Actually, I think it's like 9 days left, something like that. Let's see. Berbers argues that to protect and promote freedom, democracies, which he says are in decline, need to reduce reliance on fossil fuels and become more sustainable through low carbon alternatives. Now, listen, there's a lot to be said about that. You know, hey, listen, if we could go to all electric cars and be able to actually charge them without, you know, spending 4 times as much per month to charge a car than it is to use the air conditioner in your house. Did you guys know that? It will cost you 4 times more to charge your car than it will to run your air conditioner all month long. So I don't think that, I truly believe that we could. I used to have a couple of electric cars, and I truly believe we can get there. The problem is there's no cross development, okay, or what they call parallel development. You know, where on this side we've got the fossil fuels and we're ticking along, you know, but then on this side we've got the electrical stuff, the infrastructure ticking along, and then once they pass each other, that's when you don't jump in. You jump in when you're like this, and then this starts to depreciate, and this just keeps going on. That's the smart way to do any form of development advancement. You find that in any programming system. Okay? I don't know why they can't figure this out. I truly don't. It doesn't make any frickin' sense whatsoever. So, yeah. He argues that that democratic and green energy transitions are linked. The G20 countries with greater political rights and civil liberties tend to also have greener policies and economies. In comparison, countries that are less free are browner. I'm not even going to touch that one. Barber goes on to suggest that higher gas prices would help the U.S. and Europe accomplish this proposal. I'm going to go ahead and stop reading on that on the WEF stuff because that's just a lie. It's just an absolute lie. Raising gas prices is not going to help. They're viewing it as the opportunity to squeeze the little guy into doing what they want to do. You know, until they are making electric trains that are bigger than the ones you buy at Christmas, it's not going to solve any problems. Until they're making electric semi-trucks, none of these problems are going to get solved. And that means building an infrastructure where they can actually sit down and charge and do what they're supposed to do and go the distance that they should be able to go on a daily basis. So, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and check the YouTube chat real quick. And what do we got? Anything good? Infrastructure isn't that... Exactly. Hey, I made it. Hey, hit the road, Jake. Good to go, man. I think that's about it on the YouTube side. All right, on the TikTok side, I can't pay my bills. Exactly. They don't have an idea about the little guy. They do have electric semis. You're right, they do. Show me one. You know, planes that fly, 4 times the speed of sound used to exist. But you can't show me one now unless you're looking at me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm telling you that they're not on the damn road. What's up, Ambusa? Hey, man, I haven't seen you in a freaking while. Okay, let's go on to regulating farms out of business. What happens to the food supply when governments are too busy in pursuing environmental, social, and governance goals? They call them ESG goals. Here's a clue. Social unrest, farmers unable to farm, and too little food to feed a nation. Yeah, that's actually happening. There was, and I'm gonna talk to you. There are some case studies in here where they've proven that this crap doesn't work. What they're doing is part of the green agenda. They're trying to get farmers to stop using fertilizer. We know that fertilizer allows a farmer to produce 40% more than naturally grown foods. We know we need food to feed the population. And I checked today. The population in 1950 was about 150, in the United States was about 157 million. Now we're over 300 million. We need more food. Yes, we need to grow a lot of it our own. Yes, we do need to have our own stuff. I'm not saying that. But let's go ahead and cover this real quick. Recently started watching me and love what you're doing. F34RX, God's Wrath. Got you. And I appreciate you. Let's see here. And also, guys, if you're not watching backing up on my YouTube channel, you are definitely missing out, because that's where the big stuff gets put. You know, all the gear reviews, I'm in the process. One of my Patreons got me onto these. If you don't know what this is, yeah. And so that's where I'm putting all my gear reviews. I'm not putting any gear reviews on TikTok at all. I'm literally just coming on and talk to you guys about prep and stuff and things that we need to think about. Let's see here. Sri Lanka is the case study. This kind of sounds a little boring, but listen to me while I tell you, you know. What's your YouTube channel? Local Prepper, all one word. Same logo that you see up there, you'll see it. Sri Lanka is a tragic case study of how not to transition too quickly. In April 2021, Sri Lanka banned chemical fertilizers to push the country toward a full organic agricultural industry. Tragically, this devastated one of the largest industries by drastically reducing crop yields and damaged the trade balance. It didn't just mess with everything, it messed with the trade balance. This forced the country to rely on imports for food, and when Sri Lanka could no longer pay for imports, they quickly experienced food, fuel, and medicine shortages. Can you smell what I'm laying down? Yeah, it's pretty interesting, huh? Let's see here. While the government lifted the fertilizer bans just months later in November 2021, the damage was already done. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs estimated that crop production for the 2021 to 2022 season decreased by 40 to 50%. It is estimated that only 24% of the usual worked land, or 128,000 out of 524,000 hectares, has been cultivated for the upcoming season. So that means that they're still behind. That's like 1/3 of their available land is only set up to grow stuff right now. Thus, the current yield is not sufficient to cover domestic requirements, the UN stated in a June 22 report. This is a problem, not just for them, but it's a problem for the world, because they're going to continue to rely on imported foods, and that means that people have to export foods instead of keeping the foods where they can be. The decision to overturn the decision to overnight shift away from synthetic fertilizers was an absolute disaster, says Peter Earle, a former financial markets trader and economist at the American Institute for Economic Research. To the extent that any part of the organic agricultural decision was made based upon some version of green or those ideologies, this is just first of many unintended consequences we've seen for those kinds of policies. Yeah, exactly. They're not thinking about these unintended consequences. Nobody is thinking through the damn problem. In a matter of months, Sri Lanka sank into chaos with mass protests due to long lines for gas, medicine, and food. The prime minister fled the country and then resigned. 38 politicians' homes have been burned to the ground, and protesters have stormed government offices. The country is bankrupt, and people are hungry. The UN World Food Program says 9 out of 10 families are skipping meals or otherwise skimping to stretch their own food. Now, you guys may remember, because last week is when this happened. When basically the Sri Lankan people took back their country. It's a problem, man. It's a serious problem, and people kind of think that could happen here, which is kind of scary. All right, what do we got here? Let's look at the let's look at the YouTube real quick. Hey Jesse, what's going on, man? All right, looks like that's it on the YouTube. YouTube's doing good. We got 11 subscribers over there. Let's see here. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. How vastly Tesla, Peterbilt, and Freight are all make them. That's dynamite, but they're not on the road, and maybe it's because there's no charging stations that will allow them to do their job. This is what we're talking about: is fighting with me, trying to pretend that you're right and I'm wrong when we're both right. It's fruitless. Look at the argument. It's pretty simple. There are no charging stations to support freight line level cargo support of an electric vehicle. Let's try again. All right. Let's see here. Read further up. Just subscribe to your YouTube. Thanks you. Hey, Brady, thank you. The infrastructure isn't there. Just went to Walmart and Sam's. Is getting overloaded with inventory. Yeah, one of the things that we're going to see with specifically with Sam's Clubs and Walmart, pretty much any of the big box stores, you're going to start seeing a lot of deals on nice-to-have items. I've already noticed. I was talking about somebody about this morning, that they were talking about like $1,200 grills are being pushed up to into the impulse aisle area and being sold for a little over $900. So what's basically happening is all of the stuff that was on these ships, we've now got into a surge where those items are on the shelf and they're going to sit on the shelf because nobody has the money to buy them. And then the prices will immediately come down. So if you're saving your money for this item, wait a little longer. You might have a better opportunity to get it. But those items are going to sit on the shelves. And you're going to see them get moved around the stores too. So, all right, what do we got here? I'm sorry, bro. I just don't have time to deal with you. I love Discord. I love a conversation. But, when you refuse to listen to the other side, then... and not to the point of right or wrong, but to actually have an adult conversation, then you're moving into my only rule land. Okay, here we go. Let's move on to consolidation of U.S. farmland. One might argue we're entering into a new form of colonialism, with billionaires and governments telling farmers to forget the land and take the money. It sounds like good old conspiracy theory, but it's playing out right in our own nation. Should this trend continue, it will bring U.S. farmland into the hands of a few who can then control the food and thus control you and me. This is a problem. This is why you should have your own little garden. This is why you should be trying to produce your own food. This is why you should be purchasing things that you could can or store, almost mid to long-term type storage stuff. Foreign investors buying U.S. farmland. Foreign holdings on U.S. lands nearly tripled in the last decade, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Overall, foreign investors own or lease nearly 37.5 million acres of agricultural land, including forest and pastures, which makes up 2.9% of the total privately held cropland in the U.S. In 2020, foreign ownership of U.S. land increased by 2.4 million acres to include 37.5 million total acres. Over 40% of the growth was accounted for in Oklahoma, Texas, and Colorado. Canadian investors own 29% of foreign-owned land in the United States. China, Russia, and Iran accounted for 0.2 million acres, 0.7% of all foreign-owned agricultural land. China held 60% of this total, which is attributed to its ownership of Smithfield Foods, which includes 140,000 acres. Isn't that special? Let's see here. Foreign investment continues to pour into the United States because there is no federal law that restricts foreign persons from securing subsidies offered by crop and livestock insurance programs. Back in 2021, the House Appropriations Committee voted to add a language to the bill that would prevent China from buying more U.S. farmland and claiming subsidies on what they own, but nothing was ever passed. And just a few months ago, Chinese food manufacturer bought 300 acres of land near Grand Forks, North Dakota, where they plan on building a milling plant. The location makes the purchase even scarier for national security standpoint. It's 20 minutes from the Grand Forks Air Force Base. Actually, I heard that the land actually borders the boundary of the Air Force Base itself. And if you guys didn't know that base, I'm not even going to read the rest of this because that base actually is where the Global Hawks come out of, and they also just opened a satellite intelligence group there. So yeah, buying up our land, doing what they want with it. You know, it's kind of scary, but it is what it is. I think we just need to maybe emphasize to the people that we've allowed to be in office that this is not okay and that they need to fix it. And maybe this is something, maybe we should be making a list of things that we want our representatives to do when that red wave does come, So maybe that's what we need to think about. All right, you guys are going to love this. I'm going to take a sip of my drink. All right. Bill Gates and friends. The ultra-wealthy are buying up vast amounts of farmland, putting our food supply in the hands of a few places, citizens like you and me at their mercy. Gates owns approximately 268,000 acres of farmland in over 19 states, with assets totaling more than $690 million. This makes him the largest private farm owner in the U.S. Jeff Bezos has amassed 420,000 acres of agricultural land in recent years. Ted Turner owns about 2.2 million acres of land in the U.S., with over 500,000 acres in Nebraska alone. A quick look back in history books show us exactly what happens when agricultural land lies in the hands of a few. It's called serfdom, and it ain't pretty. Yeah, it's a thought. Yeah, I honestly think that at some point that the government will get involved and create an environment that ensures that they're never allowed to create situations that would put the good of the people over the good of the rich. Or probably got that backwards. Let's see what YouTube's got. YouTube did have posted me a paragraph. How about water rights? I do not know. Shooting the bow this evening. All right, good to go, Jesse. Let's see. Sancho Pancho, love you, man. All right, looks like the ATF is coming to check on gun owners who are buying two or more. What are they doing? That wasn't the ATF. I saw that video. That was local police, and that was a massive overreach by that local municipality. What should have happened is the owner of those firearms should have had a spine since he owns a firearm, and he should have said, "Do you have a warrant?" No. Have a nice day. And closed his door. That's all he had to do. Absolutely 100% all he had to do. So, let's see here. And then there was another big comment on YouTube as well. Let's see here. Let's see here. Bubba keeps asking me if they can lease my land. I always tell them, sure. In fact, you can lease it cheap. Two conditions: no corn and no soybeans. Sadly, I have yet to have any takers. Water rights, don't know about that, Sancho. Good time to secure water with rain barrels, filters, and whatnot. Exactly. A lot of people give me a lot of crap because of these videos I've been doing lately, where I keep telling people to get my 3 pillars for preparedness are water, food, and security. Everything else after that is just an add-on. Okay. And, well, I've got a well. Well, good for you. What happens when you lose electricity? What's your backup plan? Do you have a pump for it? Is there a hand pump? Do you need a solar-powered pump? I mean, what is your backup plan? Well, why haven't you stored some water? Because you're going to have that moment when the power goes out, right? So why don't you store a little water? It's not difficult to do. I mean, I've got 4 water containers sitting right over there that I need to fill up. Store some damn water. You know, 3 days without water, it's over. It's over. It's just that easy. Let's see here. The next one is energy costs soaring for farmers in the U.S. The U.S. has seen soaring diesel costs, the primary fuel option for farmers and ranchers. Couple that with increases in some commodity prices, and, well, farmers aren't making more money. 1 second. Excuse me. We just did a world record, guys. On YouTube, I have 14 people watching, and I have 14 thumbs up. That is freaking amazing. Absolutely amazing, and I truly appreciate it. Let's see here. Many farmers and ranchers are worried they won't be able to break even. Should something happen in the market and commodity prices plunge, they won't be able to make enough to cover the high cost to produce the food. Then, add fears of a coming diesel shortage. The U.S. distillate inventory is now at the lowest level in more than a decade. On the East Coast, diesel fuel stockpiles are at the lowest in decades since 1996. If farmers can't break even, many may look to sell, and who will be there waiting to buy? None. Who be there waiting to buy it? None other than the mega wealthy and foreign entities. So, one of the things that I'm hearing is actually a pretty serious problem where you have a farmer who cannot afford to stay in business. And then that farmer decides to sell his multi-generational homeland, and no one wants to buy it to be a farmer because they know that they can't make any money. So now this guy is stuck with hundreds of acres that he's got to pay taxes on that he can no longer afford. So he doesn't pay his taxes, and in comes the county, in comes the state, and takes his property and then auctions it off. And the wealthy are just waiting for that to happen. Pretty smart if you're wealthy. Pretty smart if you're wealthy. But now what about this guy who just lost his life, his family's life? His lineage is gone. It's bad news, man. It's bad news. Let's check the YouTube real quick. Let's try and check the YouTube real quick. There we go. See here, go there as fast as I could. Good advice. Present the search warrant or go kick rocks. Yeah, Indigo, and you of course you need to be respectful. I mean, they know the law, and now they know that you know the law. And if it's dynamite, and if they want to give you any crap, then do you suspect me of committing a crime? And when they tell you no, then say, have a nice day. It's that easy. Because if they don't suspect you of committing a crime, then the meeting is no longer consensual, and that's what they operate on. They operate in a consensual environment until they have a reason to make it a non-consensual environment, an investigative environment. That's what they're trying to do. So the less you say, the better off you are. TikTok guys, do me a favor. Numbers are getting low. If you can crank that up to 20K, I appreciate it. YouTube, if you haven't hit that thumbs up, please do. It definitely does help. Let's see. Here we go. Looming global fertilizer crisis. U.S. farmers still get much of their fertilizers from overseas, specifically from Russia, the top exporter of fertilizer in the world. If you think you can combat this problem by producing our own fertilizer, think again. Critical elements needed to do so, such as natural gas, urea, potash, and ammonia, are also sourced from Russia and neighboring countries. Now, we can get all this stuff ourselves, but we just never developed it. Potash, there's a big plant on the coast of North Carolina. Natural gas, we're swimming in it. Urea, I don't know if they're collecting cow urine or what. I'm not sure where urea comes from. And ammonia, not a problem. Ammonia is actually a byproduct of making potash. So yes, we can do it ourselves. It's just that we don't have that infrastructure built up to automatically ramp up production of fertilizer. Let's see here. Because we import our fertilizer, U.S. farmers do not have access to the critical, did I just read this? No. Agricultural supplies they need. Many purchase fertilizers in advance of the Ukraine war, so we won't see the real impact until 2023, when yields per acre will be hurt by the global fertilizer shortage. Global fertilizer shortage. So once again, we're not going to feel it for a while. Let's see, we got something here on where are we at here? If the feds are investigating you, most of the time you won't know it until they arrest you. Yeah, that's true. Don't you get 10, 12 years to recoup and get land back? And if any improvements, you get free. I'm not worried about it. I think you're talking about the Homesteading Act, and the Homesteading Act is no more. I think it was in the mid-90s the Homesteading Act went away, but I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. Articulable facts, rational inferences, and reasonable suspicion. Yes, those are all words the police love to use. That's why you speak very little. Our EPA screws us in all the ways. Oh yeah, dude, I'm telling you, man. It's funny too, because you'll see these smaller tractors from like the 50s and 60s. Like, people sell them on the side, like they're on the side of the road. A lot of people have been buying those suckers up. Something to think about. Let's see. They do not need to suspect that you committed a crime. They just infer you might. Now, that's not true. They can infer all day long. It doesn't matter. That's why I always say, and crank your phone up too. You know, turn your damn phone on. Let them see that you're recording it. It's that easy. You can hold it up. Just tell them, hey, listen, I'm going to turn my phone on, guys. Farmers market was yesterday in our own area. It was so wonderful getting fresh fruit and vegetables that are local grown, worth every penny. Yes, Sufashions. Sufashions. That's a great comment. But hey, it's important what you did with that stuff. Did you get it into cans? Is it canned? Has it been water bath? Is it ready to go and on the shelf, you know? What do we got here? We were farmed 20 acres in Canada. That's great. I hear from farmers all the time, you know, and not to bash on anybody who tells me, hey, I was a farmer for 20 years. That is great. But you weren't a farmer in a different part of the country that was growing the same thing that you were growing, who is telling other people like, hey, we're getting screwed over here. We can't grow this. We can't get fertilizer. We're losing everything. It's great that you were able to do that yourself, but you weren't that other guy. All right, let's go on to the next one. The U.S. relies too heavily on food imports. The sheer number of U.S. imports presents a serious problem. Now that we've talked about this extensively, what the hell? What was I typing there? Because we are dangerously reliant on imports, consumables produced in other countries that we could make right here at home, but don't. In fact, we import double the amount China does, and even though they have far more people. Our import reliance is a result of globalism, and as a nation, we've become far too dependent on foods coming from halfway around the globe. 100% true. There's just hashtag, exclamation point, all caps, facts. I used that one earlier. My girlfriend's over there smiling. Like, he used that on me earlier. Anyway, yeah. Listen, if you're not growing your own food, if you're not finding a way to make your own food, if you're not figuring out a way to barter for natural foods in your area, you are making a mistake. Just get out there and do it. Find the farmers markets. Find the local butcher. There are ways to get things done that do not require something that's in a can that came from China. Do that stuff. Let's see what we got on the YouTube side. All right. Hey, Suzette, you need to change your YouTube name, Suzette, because I will not remember that. S-F-A-F-L-A, I can't say that, man. We're really heavily, and Suzette's one of my Patreons, so I think she is anyway. We rely heavily because we're destroying and burning down the production farms. Catitude, we were relying heavy on foreign food for years, probably a good 20 years. Let's see. I know it's funny, right, Suzette? I make mistakes. I'm stacking canned food. Laugh out loud. We have a small garden, not producing much. Don't worry about it, Twiggy. It's all going to come in. It'll all come out in the wash. You'll have something. That now you have to have a plan for whatever comes out of that garden, because you planted that garden at one time. At least I think you did. You planted your garden all at one time. What happens is all the food starts to come out of it at one time. So you need to have a plan to harvest whatever you've planted and grown and get it into cans. Or jars. Jars. Get it into jars. Can it. No, I didn't talk about that, Sam. No one said anything about that. Is it true? It's literally Cherry versus Ohio. What do we got here? Strawberries in January. Hey, man, I keep trying to get people to wake up, but they just don't seem to want to. Yeah, Joshua, listen, we're at a point now where if somebody stumbles in and starts asking questions and you think you can help them, that's where you'll spend some time and do that good deed. But if you're actively looking for people to try and get on your side, just stop wasting your time and energy doing it. We're well beyond that. We've been well beyond that for about 2 months now. Let's see here. What's our next thing we're going to talk about here? How to prepare for the global food crisis. 1. Grow your own food. Don't depend on fruits and vegetables to come from other countries. Instead, grow your own and learn how to preserve them. Even if you live in a small apartment or have a small yard, you can grow veggies in pots. Absolutely true, 100%. 2. Stock up on emergency food. Not only is long-term emergency food beneficial for emergencies and shortages, but buying it now is a good way to avoid paying the high cost of inflation in the future. Absolutely true. The prices of everything are either going to be stabilized where they are now, or they're going to go up. They're not going to go down. This whole gas thing that we're seeing right now, that nobody's screaming bloody murder for anymore, it's all going to come right back, guys. Start a hobby farm. Another means of self-sufficiency in hobby farming. With more and more local farms folding, now is the time to start preparing to care for your own livestock. Got a page. Oh, I've already read that. Okay. Get to know your local farmers. This is what we were talking about before. Go to your local farmers markets and meet the people who grow food for you. Establishing these relationships now could very well help you and your family stay fed when things get tough. And this one actually kind of hits close to home, because my girlfriend used to actually run a farm stand. There were lots of people that she told me that she helped. People would just show up and she would just give them food because she knew that they needed the food and couldn't even afford the simple prices of produce. So yeah, make some friends, you know what I'm saying? Let these people know who you are and frequent their businesses, and, you know, let them see that you're that person that actually is going to be there when the produce comes. You're going to be there to buy. And then when you show up and you don't have any money or not enough, then they might be more than willing to help you out. Let's see here. Get to know your neighbors. If push comes to shove, you may need to barter your way to survival. Invest in getting to know your neighbors. Find people you can trust and potentially barter with. All right. So that's all my notes. And now we're going to do a little Q&A. And we'll see what happens. Give me a chance to actually smoke this cigar. What about all the wild edible plants, Joshua? Grow them. Grow wild edibles. I was looking at a video today that I didn't know there was anything about, and it really caught my attention. And it just sounds stupid. It's this beautiful purple and yellow flower. It's like the paradise flower. The passion flower, okay? And how many people? Let's do a poll, okay? We're gonna do a simple poll. Just type Y for yes and N for no, okay? I'm gonna ask you a simple question. How many people have woken up in the middle of the night and can't go back to sleep because their brain won't turn off? I'll wait.
You know they're all going to say yes.
Watching the yes rolls in, because it's happened to every single people
Every single people.
Every single people. Shut up. It has happened to everybody, guys. Yeah, I am one of those people that if I wake up in the middle of the night, my brain instantly turns on. I cannot go back to sleep. And it doesn't matter why that happens, but the reality is that it happens. And so with the passion fruit, you can actually buy passion fruit. Passion flower extract. You can put 2 drops, mix it with water. That thing will turn your brain off. And you'll be able to go back to sleep. Yeah. Now, if you grew those things, then you would be able to make your own tincture or tea that would do the same exact thing. No problem. Look it up. It does work. I'm going to order some later tonight. It was like $22 for a little bottle, but it was like 120 doses because it comes in a dropper bottle. You know, things like that. Those edibles, the wild edibles, I think that's awesome, but you also need to be thinking about these, you know, stress is going to become a big thing, you know, if things get bad. It's going to be a really bad thing, and you're not going to be able to sleep. Your brain is always going to be, did I do this? Was I prepared for that? Do I need to turn this on? Did I remember to turn that off? Is this charged? Or is my family safe? You're going to be thinking about all those things. So you're going to need the ability to turn your brain off, and I just found out today that you can actually do it with. I want to hear what your lady has to think about the dumpster fire. Sam, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know anything about any dumpster fire. What? I know. Yeah, exactly, Joshua. I had no idea until today. I have tea company, and yeah, it's true. It's the best offer. They're also talking about basically it's a stress reliever. If you're in a stressful situation and you just need to calm down, you get it and make some of that tea. Also, they were talking about ADD as well. So. Okay, so what else? What else we got, guys? Start throwing some questions here. Let me check the YouTube side while TikTok is throwing questions. Post where you can find it. I will have to do that for you, Suzette. Hey, send me a message on the Discord side, and I will find a link for you, as well as another link that talks about everything medically about it. See, the world is a dumpster fire, and we can all do is watch it burn. There are many other herbs that help. Yeah, exactly. There are, but it's just it's just unique that I stumbled across this one thing that could help me in the future. You know, and then I thought to myself, that's, you know, the lazy American in me immediately went to see if I could find it on Amazon so that I could have it in 2 days. But then the prepper in me said, wait, I live in an herbal paradise right now. There's a mint bush right over there. You know, why don't I have that stuff growing here? Why shouldn't I? Why couldn't I? I think I'm going to grow some here. What do you suggest in preparations? Say the top 5. Probably 6 kids and wife at home. All right, good to hear. Good to hear, Casey. Catnip is good as well. I don't know about that. I mean, I got some, but I don't know that I want to try it. All right, you'll hear me say it over and over and over. Water, food, security, water. Buy the blue buckets from Walmart or Amazon. Yes, I have an Amazon page. You'll find it. Go to localprepper.net, hit frickin' store, and then go down to water stuff. Don't buy the gray ones. The seams on them suck. You could buy more expensive water storage containers, but once again, they are more expensive. Food. Start stacking those cans. Walmart has got tons of canned food. If you haven't started yet, 10 cans of meat, 10 cans of vegetables, and 10 staples like rice or beans or pasta. And then you'll have 10 meals, and then start stacking on top of that. Let's see here. Most likely they're already in your yard or on you. That's possible. So do you just dropped a lot of info about farming that is extremely concerning to me. Any advice? Well, I mean, Yeah, start preparing. Listen, you remember Joe was talking about the cold, dark winter. Dude, it's freaking coming. And I mean, I'm not going to talk doom and gloom, but I'm going to tell you right now that we're kind of. Have you looked at your electric bill? Have you noticed it's about $50 more this month? I mean, they should have come out digitally by now. Well, what do you think is going to happen during the winter when you're running that heater 24/7? You know what I'm saying? You better pray that it's a mild winter and that you have lots of blankets. And then food production doesn't happen during the wintertime. So we'll be getting all of our food from overseas. I just got done telling you we're too dependent on food from overseas. You need to be stacking freaking cans like it's cool. If you want to start learning to can, this would be a great time to do it. But it's a lot easier and less expensive to start stacking cans. Let's see here. We are Fortuna Metis. I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. Seriously though, if you have info, I need some real advice. My farm, thousands of acres, corn and wheat. Dude, if you're a farmer, what advice would I give you? I'm not a farmer, I'm a prepper. I truly, appreciate you thinking that I could give you that level of advice, but I mean, you have to, if you're a farmer, then you have to know, you have to have done the analysis on your property and your crop yields. So it makes me wonder if you really are a farmer. But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Don't forget, buy a good can opener. Buy a good can opener. Nobody wants to open a can on a freaking concrete block. It's stupid. Black Fox Freedom Backup. What's up, Black Fox? Love Black Fox. He's one of my Patreons. I live in the desert. How does that compare? Compare to what? We live in Florida. Winters are mild. Yeah, but the summers suck, dude. Yeah, I used to live in Mims. Let's see. I have freezers full of meat. Do you suggest generators and cans of fuel? Yeah, if you want to keep everything in a freezer, sure. I mean, at this point, it's a little late. As long as you keep power to those freezers, you're probably okay. What I would recommend, I mean, is if you've got the freezer situation, I would look into insulating your freezers. I mean, if it's not a walk-in, then, I mean, you're on your own. You know what I'm saying? But if you're talking about just like large pop-open freezers, then you need to look at insulation. You can buy it right off of Amazon. You can actually create a sleeve and a cap for your freezer, and that will do a hell of a lot of work. A great example of that is I have a portable refrigerator that I use when I camp, and it runs off my Jackery 290. That's right, I sell those too. Products I support, localprepper.net. I ran that portable refrigerator at 0 degrees for about 36 hours off that Jackery, and I did that. I was able to do that because I actually took a shipping blanket and wrapped the refrigerator, because the insulation that I bought hadn't come in for me to make the container. Hey, what's up, pal? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I would look at that, and that will keep your compressor from firing over more, and obviously use electricity. How you decide to power the multiple freezers, that's really on you, bro. Sorry, I'm talking about your thoughts on the government taking over the farm. By the way, I'm a woman. Gotcha. I call everybody dude just in case. That dude is the appropriate pronoun for all preppers. Let's see here. I think that so right now you've got globally the biggest problem. I think it was the Netherlands, where the government is trying that crap. First they tried to go with no fertilizer, and then they're moving in on the farmers' land themselves, and now we have that gigantic protest uprising that's going on there. And that's not really affecting us right now, but it will in the future. Anytime the farmer's not farming, that's a percentage that gets cut out of the global percentage of food that moves around the world. So now Canada is having the same problem. Now Trudeau is basically trying to go after farmers' land there, using the same exact process. I don't think that would ever work here. Yeah, I don't think that would work here. I don't think our farmers would tolerate any of that crap here. Let's see here. Let's take care of that one right there. I'm cool with that. Buy a lot of farm. Nobody knows. I mean, I don't know. You know what? One thing we have to really think about is the reality is that they're businessmen and they have money, and so they see these properties as investment properties. I don't think there's anything nefarious about it, but I do think that they're looking at it from a business perspective. You know, farmers don't make a lot of money, but you know what? Farmers who get paid by the government not to farm break even. And if the government's going to pay Bill Gates hundreds of thousands of dollars because he has hundreds of thousands of acres, then it could be a way to make money. I don't know. It could be just a drop in the bucket for him. I don't really understand the whole process behind it, but I also don't think there's anything truly nefarious about it. Why did organic meat farming Amish butcher? Okay, I figured this would come up. I did a little bit of research on that. So, as I've been able to ascertain so far, the FDA was after this guy. The FDA found out, through however they found out, that he was actually slaughtering, packing, and then selling meat into different states. I guess as long as they don't do anything more than that Amish community needs, then it's still legal. But once you cross state lines, it becomes a federal issue. And now you have to meet all sorts of sanitation guidelines and regulations. And well, apparently the FDA showed up, said, hey guys, we'd like to look around. We heard this really bad thing, and we'd like to make sure it's not happening. And basically the farmer said, go the hell away. You don't know what you're talking about. And basically applied Amish law, which is basically get off my property. So the FDA left. They went to a federal judge and say, we think that he's doing this, but we have no way of finding out, but we have good reason to think that he is doing this. So the judge issues a warrant, or issues a bench warrant allowing the FDA to search. He shows up, they show up. The farmer says, go away, I don't care. So now the FDA has got to go back to the judge and say, hey, the guy won't let us on his property, he doesn't care about your warrant. So the judge, is a federal judge, says, all right, well, I guess we're just going to do this, we're going to apply force. And he gave the FDA authority to use the U.S. Marshals and, in turn, multiple different U.S. government law enforcement agencies to get full access to the place. When he did that, the farmer went, whoa, wait a minute, maybe I stepped in it. Okay, you guys can come on. We'll let you see everything you want to see, no problem. And then when they showed up, he's like, no, get out of here. So now the farmer is looking at no less than a $250,000 fine for contempt and anything else that they decide to play with him by. So I don't think that the Amish farmer is innocent in this, but I also don't think the FDA should be digging around, basically a place that, people living in lifestyles that they lived in for, a couple hundred years. How many days now? I don't know. I think it's like 9 or something like that. Maybe 7. Let's see here. I love your name, the U.S. Constitution. Let's see. What do we got on the YouTube side here? I don't know if I've seen anything pop over there. You mentioned we were 10 days left. Did you want to talk more about that? No, not really. I mean, the bottom line, guys, is that I made that countdown so that you guys would be aware. I got a lot of pushback on it from basically the nutbags. You know, I'm going to be back in 11 days to say ha ha to your face. And I'm thinking, dude, this is TikTok. Nobody freaking cares about you. You know, you know, the reality is that it was never my thing. It was the United Nations. They're the ones who told us how many days it would be until we ran out of this stuff. You know, and have you checked the aisles that have wheat products in them lately? I mean, I'm never one of those people to come like, you know, when the clock ends, I'm going to make a video saying, I told you so, because that's just not what's going to happen. I've already moved on from it. If you guys have not been paying attention to it, this is really just not my problem. You think any ships are going to be making it out of the Ukraine with some grain? I think there might be a few, but unfortunately that deal has started to fall apart already. You know, what was it? I think Odessa got attacked, and then the Russians are like, it wasn't us, it wasn't us. And the problem is that that deal primarily has to be between Russia and Turkey, because Turkey needs the grain. So that deal was primarily between Russia and Turkey, and Russia's already told Turkey, it wasn't us, guys. It wasn't us. You can never tell, you know. You can never tell. Prairie, no problem. That's what I'm here for. I keep looking stuff up, but can't find info. I have anxiety. I just want to feel a bit better. Tingerland. Dude, just start stacking. Don't worry about what's happening. Just prepare yourself in case something goes wrong. Just pretend you live in Florida or North Carolina or Georgia, where it's basically Hurricane Alley. You know what I'm saying? Just pretend that. And you're going to be fine. But if you do nothing, then staring at the internet is going to be a waste of your damn time. I live in that's not true at all. That is absolutely not true. I get that all the time. Yes, you can buy a water jug. Yes, you can fill it full of water. Yes, you can put 8 drops of chlorine in it, unless it's already been treated by the city and you trust it. Yes, you can go to Walmart. Yes, you can buy cases of food and stack them to the roof of a closet or in the corner of a house. Yes, you can. Yes, you can go buy a youth baseball bat. Yes, you can. If I seem a little gruff, it's because people put too many stumbling blocks ahead of their progress in things in life, and those are the people that are going to show up on somebody's doorstep saying, I didn't know, I can't, but they could the whole time. So take those stumbling blocks out of your life, think of ways to accomplish the task instead of thinking of ways that you can accomplish the task, you know. And I still love you. I still love you. Let's see here. I appreciate your advice. Honestly, some preppers won't tell people what's going on to get the views. Hey, no problem, man. I'll take the throat chop and, you know, the nut punch any day for you guys. You know, digitally. I'll do it for you digitally. Let's see here. Follow the host. Where we got here? Lots of hearts. Let me check YouTube. I think I saw something popping over there. Let's see. There's a lot of them in here. I've been able to find corn on the cob. Let's see. Twiggy says, I'm in Washington State. I haven't even looked for corn. I'll give it a check. Yeah, okay. Above says, all I can say is if you haven't already, keep prepping until you can't. You'd rather have something and not need it than need it and not have it. Bullpack RV says we have corn here in northern Florida, but it looks brown at the stores. Above said, that's how I see it, because prepared person is an alive person. Yeah, it's the grasshopper and the ant story. Yep, all very true. Meal prep supply on my website as well. Yep, there you go. Everybody hunt down frickin' C. Powell. I know him personally. He won't lead you wrong. Let's see here. Little by little, I'm prepping food, first aid kit, shovel, even a taser. You got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. But if nothing happens, when do you decide to stop hoarding or consuming the food and items you've saved? But that's just it. You're not hoarding them, okay? So let's look at this realistically, okay? I would say macros and makeup, okay? Let's look at this realistically, okay? So it's not about, first of all, nobody's hoarding anything, okay? Hoarding means, you know what hoarders look like? Hoarders look like those people during COVID when they went and bought carts and carts of toilet paper that they probably still have. Those are hoarders. That is not what a prepper is, okay? A prepper is somebody who systematically buys things or produces or shares things that they know that they're going to use in the future and that are going to help them in a bad situation. So when do you stop? You have to set the guidelines. How long do you want to prepare for? Do you want to prepare for 10 days? I mean, I don't know anybody that's in Hurricane Alley that is not prepared for 10 days. That was my standard in the very beginning. And it actually came true. So, and then, or do you want to prepare for 3 months? Do you want to prepare for 6 months, a year? How long do you want to prepare for? Because at that point, then you're just rotating things. For instance, I have a short-term pantry and I have a long-term pantry, you know. My short-term pantry is where I take my long-term goods and that I'm using and I bring them into the short-term pantry. And then that's when I know I need to buy shit, you know. If I know there's supposed to be 6 boxes of macaroni and cheese on that shelf, then what I'll do is I'll go upstairs and I'll get the 3 that are missing and I'll put them on the shelf. And I'll do this like once a month. And then I know that I need to replenish those other 3 from the other stockpile. You see what I'm saying? That way I don't get this giant, there's nobody's hoarding anything, okay? And believe me, if you want to use the word hoarder, that's dynamite. But don't show up at a hoarder's house because I guarantee he's hoarding ammunition too. And you don't want any of that. But yeah, and even if you just have a simple pantry, pay attention to what's in your pantry. Sometimes it's as simple as a clipboard and a list or a notebook, you know, that's on the door. And whatever you use, you write down what you used. You're literally creating your next grocery list. And then determine if you need any more. And then you add that on there. And now you have your new grocery list. Put it on your phone. Do something. You know what I'm saying? And then that will keep the rotation going. That's what preppers do. Now, preppers do buy long-term foods. Oh, I got... Oh, man, it's so temporary. I don't even get to play with it. But that's what real preppers do, you know. Do I have a year's worth of freeze-dried food under my bed? Yes, I do. But everything else is rotational. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's I'm a believer in the ReadyWise stuff, the My Patriot Supply stuff. I think it's the best stuff on the planet. That's why I'm actually an affiliate for it. You can find them on products I support on my webpage. You know, but how much of that stuff do I buy? Well, I only buy enough because I know that that's a long-term product. But I also know that even though it's a long-term product, it's like for 25 years it's got a shelf life. But there are things inside of it that only have like a 5-year shelf life, like things that are dehydrated. You see what I'm saying? So those things get eaten, and then I know that I need to go and get more of those things to put them in the shelf. You know, so, oh, Mountain House, dude, that's like, oh my God. Why don't you just, I don't know, gargle sewage? Jesus. I did a video on Mountain House. I'm not joking. It was supposed to be teriyaki chicken and rice. And it smelled like hot dog water. And it had no taste whatsoever. It looked delicious. It looked like a standard MRE. It looked really good. No, not so much, bro. Peddle that crap elsewhere. And I'm sorry to say that, but because a lot of people buy, and it's ridiculous too, because Thrive Life, that is the stuff that I have under my bed. It's a company called Thrive, and Thrive Life is a subsidiary of that. There's about 4 different companies that have what do they call it? Damn it! What is it when you buy a McDonald's? I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, My Patriot Supply, I honestly believe is the best ones. Anything beyond that, as far as flavor goes, you're starting to talk about, like, you know, yuppie hiker food, you know. Franchise, exactly. Thank you very much. That Marcy girl. That's exactly right. That's literally what they've done. There's 4 companies out there that have a franchise through the company Thrive. I bought Thrive when Thrive was just a single company. And it's all the same food. It's coming out of the same factory. It's all very, very good. But it's expensive because it is the way they can it, and also because it is freeze dried. So, yeah, Augusta Farms is very, very good food. It's a little expensive, but it's very good food. I actually have that in my store too. I need to buy some. So, retired in 18 from D. Medfield. I warned the pandemic is coming in D, and they came running to me. Gotcha. Let me check the old YouTubes. My eyes are starting to give out on me. See, Samantha says, I will be canning boxes, potatoes, rice, beans, etc. this week. Nice. People saying hi to Thorn. Oh my God, Local Preppers Live. That's right, I'm alive, Thorn. What do we got here? People just full of excuse of why they can't do it. Well, you know, let me write that. K Good Den 2. K Good Den 2. A lot of people don't want to deal with the reality that bad things happen. A lot of people don't know how to get started and are afraid to make mistakes. A lot of people don't know that it's so simple to just go buy 10 cans of meat, 10 cans of vegetables, and 10 staples. They don't know that. They can't comprehend it because no one has led them to it. You know, add sea moss to your stockpile. Well, that's interesting. I don't know what sea moss is. Not only for collapse from bad weather can affect us. Exactly. That's why I use Florida as the example. If you guys, I'm not joking, dude. The hurricanes that have hit North Carolina that came over Wilmington first, you can draw a line on that hurricane and go right over the top of my house. Not joking, man. I am the center of Hurricane Alley in that house in North Carolina. So yeah, and they fixed the power, and it's in the boonies. So they fixed the power from the city out to the suburbs, out to the rural areas. They don't do it the other way around. So the people have the city power back on in anywhere from hours to days, and then moving all the way out to where I was, it could take anywhere from 3 to 9 days. Let's see here. Where do you get sea moss? If somebody says from the sea, you're gone. How many days left? I don't know. 3, 5, 7, 27, hut hike. Anyone have any trouble finding milk? Went to 4 Walmarts today. Nobody has it. I noticed there was less milk in the store a couple days ago, but I haven't really. I also think you guys need to remember too that some of these products that we go after daily, we go after them at the wrong time. Oh, Catitude. See, if I didn't know you, Catitude, I would dump you just now. You don't get to emulate a troll. You didn't even say laugh out loud. Bad girl. Bad. Anyway, but we need to remember that sometimes we go to the store at the wrong time. You know, so, you know, an example of that is like today with the chip aisle being empty. Now, it should not be empty, okay? But, like I said, we still have a lot of sports that are on TV right now. And, you know, this was the hottest weekend of the year here on the Eastern Shore. And you know, people are staying home, so they want to have chips, or maybe they're partying or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So it'd be really easy to clean it out. Now, if the chip truck isn't coming until Monday, then there's your problem, you know? She didn't say C. Gotcha. Hello from upstate New York. I'm prepared. My brother thinks I'm nuts. That's okay, Tim. Don't worry about it. If something goes down, your brother will be like, 1, I'm an ass, and 2, please help me. What are you going to do? All you can do is add a few extra things for Tim and whoever. Same chip shortage. Lay's has a recall. Oh, I was not aware. What's the recall for, William? Mylar, no, that's not true. Nadia Chaplin. That's not true. So the Mylar bag issue. The Mylar bag issue is linked to the use of Mylar bags by the drug cartels to, package drugs. Mylar bags will still be available as long as they have one clear side so you can see inside the bag, and the bag is one color. It's that easy. Let's see here. See on the news feed Thursday, I think. Not sure. Gotcha. Appreciate it, William. Top barter items, please, is always alcohol. Always alcohol. And I recommend you go to your local ABC store and buy them in the stupid little bottles that you used to find on airplanes. Well, actually, you still do. Buy those. Vodka's the best. Everybody loves that. After that, rum. Yeah, sure, man. And the light came on. God, it's sticky out here. Thank you. Let's see here. Our son-in-law thought we were crazy until the pandemic hit. Then they came to our house to shop. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they do. But, you should have also been prepared for them, too. Hopefully you were. Oh, we got some stuff on YouTube here. You can get powdered whole milk, and put it in a whole lot of things for extra calories and essentials. Yep, absolutely right. Powdered eggs and peanut butter is a calorie-dense option. Number 10 cans. True. Good, Mike. And I don't recognize you, Michael Kemp. Welcome to the channel. RC, everyone else other than Amazon will still have these. Okay, we talked about that. Good call, RC. Powdered potatoes are good to stack. Yes, Twiggy, you're absolutely right. Would you say cigarettes is bartering? Yeah, exactly. Pretty much anything that is a vice is going to be good for bartering. Now, there are people that are like, well, I'm going to barter with ammunition. And I'm like, okay, great. You're going to give people bullets for guns that they can come back and take your shit. Anybody who says bartering with bullets is good is absolutely 100% wrong. 3 years stocked up for a family of 6. Nice. Just remember to rotate that shit, dude. Open them buckets every so often. Take a look and make sure you don't have any problems. One of the Patreons told me yesterday. No, I think it was Tuesday. They were asking, hey, there's bugs inside these bags. Do I throw them out? My bags of rice. And it's like, oh no. She had like 50 pounds of rice she had to throw out. So, coffee. Yeah, coffee's great. I'm looking into storing raw coffee beans because apparently it's super easy to roast coffee. And you can even determine your type of roast and then grind those suckers up. And they will last for about 2 years. Whereas now freeze-dried coffee is a different story. Freeze-dried coffee, as long as you can keep the humidity out of the bottle that it's sealed up in, will last indefinitely because it's freeze-dried. I bought powdered eggs for a little over $20 a can. Now they cost $115. Yeah, I believe it, Pippi. I believe it. 100%. Consider small bags of coffee for trade. Yeah, anything is good for trade. Anything is good for trade. Like I said, just don't trade with bullets. That's stupid. All the instant coffee freeze-dried. Oh, yeah, that's what I was just saying, RC. Freeze-dried coffee. The problem, you can buy decent freeze-dried coffee at the $1.25 store, But the problem is the seals on them suck. So you have to make sure that whatever you buy those little bottles, that you actually put them someplace where they're not going to be bothered by their environment. Because there's been many times where I've opened a can of freeze-dried coffee that is several years old, and the coffee is a giant clump. And once that happens, then it's pretty much useless to you. Let's see here. Buy farm eggs and don't wash them. You can water glass. Lasts over a year. Absolutely true. Don't know what I was doing is called a prepper till I saw you FYI prep 3,000 to 10,000 grand. Dude, PayPal. I have a PayPal. Find my PayPal. Let's see here. Water glassing is just a way you have to mix a chemical that's actually very common to find, and I don't think it may actually be lye into water, and then you just put the eggs. I think it's point up, and you just kind of stack them inside there. Make sure that they're completely covered, and then you cap them off, and that's it. You're very welcome. I won your supply for one person and a separate for giving to family. Nice. So is that just you? You're the only person you're preparing for? Let me check the YouTube while you answer that. Put freeze-dried coffee in mason jars with oxygen absorbers. Just be careful with that, Samantha. You know, there's a lot of information that's coming out now about oxygen absorbers. The problem isn't that they work too bad or don't work good enough. The problem is that botulism can only form in a zero oxygen environment. And if you suck all the air out of that and create that vacuum, and then you put an oxygen absorber inside of it, you're taking out that last bit of oxygen that could be stopping the botulism from forming. So just think about it. Sometimes it's overkill to do that. Sometimes, you know, some preppers just like get a Mylar bag and a damn iron, you know, a flat iron, and pour stuff in and you're done. And the product does just fine. It has a lot to do with what you're actually trying to contain. Don't forget about fat. Rendering fat is awesome. Pork fat is the best flavor. Pork fat went in my turkey this morning. It was delicious. Thank you, dear.
You're welcome.
And 3 ounces is roughly 750 calories, and you can self-stable. Dude, Michael, I could like drink bacon grease. Let's see here. Hello, George. TC82, pick time water, you get the lime and canning section. Gotcha. All right, what do we got here? All right, what else we got? My eyeballs are starting to give out, and the lighting is much better on the TikTok phone than it is on the YouTube phone. Everything looks washed out on the YouTube phone. I think we've actually run out of stuff to talk about. Everybody's like, oh, I'm done. Okay, well, I mean, it's really that easy. Vacuum sealing is good. Yes, absolutely true. Okay, well, I'm going to call it then, guys. If you are not on the Discord, on the free side, get your asses over there. You can find it on my website, localprepper.net. Just scroll down and see until you see the word Discord. Click on it. It'll take you right there. If you need the app, you can do that. If you need to do PC, you can load it there. You can even just use it on the internet. It doesn't matter. Let's see. If you want to support the channel, the best way to do it is via the Patreon. But I will tell you guys right now, do not join my Patreon. I'm not joking. This is not a ploy. Do not join my Patreon right now, because if you join my Patreon right now, Patreon is going to go bloop, and they're going to take $3 from you, because that's how much it costs. You get 30 days of work out of me for less than the price of a Starbucks coffee, okay? But what it's going to do is it's going to take that money right out of your bank account. And then on the first of the month, it's going to be back and take another three months. You know what I'm saying? So you'd literally only be paying for 4 days worth of work. So don't do that. Do not join my Patreon, but think about doing it on the first if you want to. If not, check out my store, look around. You don't have to really buy anything, but it might give you some great ideas because it is set up for preppers. Do that. It could definitely help you out. And then I think that's about it. At a minimum, get your ass in the Discord, because all this conversation we've been having happens every single day, morning, afternoon, and night. Sometimes I wake up to hundreds of messages that I have to read. It's pretty crazy. All right, I'm going to let you go for now. Have a great Sunday night, and as usual, stay safe and have a great day, and I will see you when I see you. Bye-bye. No boop. No boop. That's for the YouTubers only. Only the YouTubers get the boop.